Dear oh dear. What's happened to you, mate? Because you're in a right state.
Oh, drifters. I'm fucked. I just did a real number on myself last night in Toowoomba. Into Toowoomba.
Did you bump into the Toowoomba Toolman by?
I did not see the Toolman. Yeah. They actually had a twilight meeting at Toowoomba last night, but didn't punt there, obviously. Drifters because it's incredibly corrupt. So
much like your soul at the moment, by the looks of it.
Fucking, I think I left a Horcrux in Toowoomba last night. Part of my soul just obliterated. So drifters, for context, it's a Sunday. It's a bit later than what we typically record on a Sunday, because your boy had to make his way back from Toowoomba and plan to leave a lot earlier than what he did. But when you roll in at about 2 a.m,
that's tough.
Just saying that out loud just made me feel even more hungover.
Mate, because typically for me, like the second day is almost worse. So it's like you have to front up at your 9 to 5 tomorrow.
I do, yeah.
So you got to think about that all day. Too.
Thanks for that. Yeah, literally the only thing keeping me together at this point is one, like I love horse racing so much. So to chat about horse racing when I'm cooked, fine.
Yeah, it's
like fine.
It's actually a joy.
It's like it's sobering. Like, you know what I mean? And secondly, where you live in Brisbane, there's a fine military leader who lives nearby, and I'm going to go see him. He's the colonel's led the finest armies, and they typically do their best work on a Sunday.
Yeah,
form of a zinger box.
Yeah, after they've blown themselves up the day before.
Yeah, so I've got that's keeping me together, and sitting here with you talking about horse racing is a great joy. So that's literally the only reason I have a pulse.
It could be a lot worse, couldn't it?
Now,
Now,
it could be much worse.
All right, I'm going to look after you today. Let's just get straight into it.
There is a bit to talk about.
There is a lot.
It was a phenomenal day of racing.
It was like for the first day of the, I guess, spring carnival. Yeah, it delivered in spades.
It sure did. It delivered in David spades.
Yeah. So the Winx Stakes review. Hey.
Yep. Let's start with the big one.
I'm very keen to have this. It typically is a fantastic form reference each year.
Yeah, of course.
Because very good horses kick off their campaigns there, right?
Yeah.
But I'm very keen to follow this in.
Yeah.
I think. Via Sistina, we didn't really even give her much of a mention. We thought we'd see her running on into, say, 4th or 5th.
Yeah, I didn't even have her in my top 4 because there wasn't room for her, to be honest. But Drifter Brendan, he was very keen on Via Sistina, so well done to you, mate. Probably picked her up at a good price too, because she probably jumped about $10.
And you owe him $50.
I do owe him $50, so well done, mate. But it wasn't, it wasn't taking on that bet being like, oh, she's got no chance.
No.
Like, it was
in the race setup, it made sense for Zougotcha, right?
It made sense for Zougotcha, but it was actually ran a lot at a tempo a lot stronger than what I thought it would be. Yeah, which is good to see.
Absolutely. Love to see that. And I guess some of the champion 2,000 metre horses have kicked off in a race like this, and then they've gone on to win Cox Plates later in the prep.
Winx
being the main one.
Winx being
aptly named race.
Yeah.
But where is Via here? She's basically 4th last. She's behind Fangirl at this stage of the race, at least. But yeah, Tropical Squall. She went out quite hard. I think on Sky they were saying that they ran about a 10-2 sectional early in the race. So it's really strung out.
Yeah.
And it basically just, it kind of like warranted, I guess, the best athletes. I think that was Zougotcha's chance. What do you reckon?
I think so too.
As we kind of alluded to.
I think so. Because
it's such a shame.
It's such a shame. It is such a shame. She was enormous. Yeah. She was fantastic.
Off the back of that speed.
To hold on like that. She was a sitting duck there to be beat. And she was, but gee, it took her, to be honest, a terrific ride from K-Mac.
Yeah, huge.
And an engine
Yeah,
to get the job done. Because look at Fangirl. You're thinking at this point, she's just going to run past him. Nah, Zoo held on really strongly.
Yeah, and by this stage, I'm like, oh yeah, Via's just going to run over her. But she just kept sticking her neck out. And then past the post, yeah, Via just looked even
Via's
better.
the one.
Yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because so early she was behind Fangirl. I reckon this is the winning move. And there was another shot on Twitter that I saw, mate. It doesn't look like they're that far off the fence, but they're a long way off the fence.
Yeah,
they're like 5 lanes off the fence.
It was off. Yeah, they were off the fence all day mostly. Yeah,
which Kieran in his post match, I guess, was saying like, oh yeah, the rail wasn't exactly the best ground, but it was definitely dried out by then, and it was like it was fine. Yeah. So I think it might have been overplayed, but huge ride, and I was just trying to see there as well where he actually. So he went. Just trying to see here about the 600. He made the winning move, I reckon. Yeah. Just made up a few lengths. Got about a length in front of Fangirl entering the straight. Probably saved a ton of ground back on the inside. Yep. As well. And yeah, Fangirl was probably a length behind her there with about 300 metres to go, and it was proved to pretty much be the winning margin.
Absolutely. Yeah. I guess on that as well, the reason why I was keen on Zougotcha in the race is because, like you said, it's set up for her. And she's got the tactical speed that Fangirl and Via Sistina don't. But I tell you what, like, if you put Fangirl and Via Sistina in a match race over a mile, like I couldn't possibly have Fangirl over her based on that race specifically. Yeah. Right track, Randwick for Fangirl, good deck, drying deck, J-Mac on, like. Are you taking her over Via Sistina over a mile? Probably with the exact same setup. Yeah, she had everything that she needed.
And Via Sistina ran 1/100th of a second quicker home, so they basically run an identical last 600 meters. Yeah. So Fangirl's run out of her skin, considering the layoff that she's had. The concern for her is a bit of the second up syndrome off that really light autumn preparation as well. So. Especially at the price she's going to be about 3 to 350.
That's the thing, like
equal for both of them,
and that's for me. Like the punters love Fangirl because she's a fantastic horse. She's never been one of mine because you know where she's going to be in the running, and you're not going to get a price that's backable. No. Like to win yesterday, she was less. It was like $2.40 or something like that, and Zooey got. You know, a bit of money came for Zooey, but she was $2.20 to place. It's like, well, where are you better off spending your money?
Yeah, 1/3 for Zooey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, Via Sistina terrific. Zougotcha was tough, difficult to place now. And Fangirl was brilliant as well.
Mate, there was some other really smart runs in behind as well here. I want to highlight. Chris Waller training a trifecta in the Winx, like he would have absolutely adored that, especially with some of those having far bigger targets in mind. Yeah, Detonator Jack off a high pressure speed. Yeah, was fantastic. I think he finished 5th. Samana 3 wide. She was great, but I loved the runs of Zardozi and Riff Rocket.
Yeah. Yeah, with cups in mind, you'd think.
Zardozi was the one that she's put on 40 kilos in the off season.
Jesus.
So she was fat as a bus yesterday, and her last furlong was, I think she let out of condition, but
one to follow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially considering, thinking back to her spring last year, it took her about 4 runs to get going. Like, and as soon as she got that match fitness going, she was virtually unbeatable. Yeah. And we saw her have 3 actually fantastic runs at Flemington. Yeah. A Melbourne Cup for me, $26 she is in that market. Yeah. Of a local chance, I don't mind that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is good. We need more locals inserted into our staying ranks. Yeah, the run on Riff Rocket, like it was just like a trial run, wasn't it?
Well, Toby Prinis said Riff Rocket looked like he was playing up. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. He probably just raced a bit keenly because he's probably fat as a bus still. Yeah. A bit underdone. He'll sharpen up after that, and I hope he's heading towards the Cups. I hope Chris Waller doesn't pull a Chris Waller and say, "Oh yeah, we're taking him to an Epsom and then a Golden Eagle."
Yeah, no,
that'd be disgusting behaviour.
Turnbull's his race, I reckon.
Yeah,
I reckon that would be.
Set away some penalties. It'll be interesting to see what he gets, but
yeah.
No, yeah. Look, just set the tone for the spring, didn't it?
Yeah. I thought he was a fantastic run. He had the fourth fastest last 600 metres of the race behind Via Sistina, Fangirl and Tissue. So it's like he's run out of his skin for me. Nash wasn't too happy after the race.
What did Nash say?
He was like, I was just really frustrated with how that race was run. It's like, bruh, you got a 2,500 metre horse under you. He's not going to be winning this anyway.
No, he's not. And what would he get in a Caulfield Cup? Like 55?
Yeah, probably. Two-time Derby winner.
As it stands right now, would you rather have him or Warmonger in a Caulfield Cup?
Warmonger.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah. Shaping up to be a good race.
Yeah.
After a few years of inconsistency, I'd say. Last year's was a good addition, obviously, without a fight. Durston. Incentivise.
So 2 of the last 3 have been fantastic.
Yeah, true.
We have to talk about
Tropical Squall.
Tropical Dross.
Tropical Dross. Well, she's a difficult one to place too now, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. And I think I would like you, if you could please, just remind the listeners and me, because I need to listen to this as well. And I'm stuck in 2 minds with Zardozi because she's an early season 4-year-old mare. What's your theory?
My theory is that I don't think the 4-year-old mares are treated awfully well once they transition to weight for age. I think it takes them at least 6 months, definitely a year, to get to a point where they're actually more of a betting prospect. Unless they're a star, obviously. I think it takes them a year to sort of fully furnish. Like if you put Zougotcha in that race this time last year, like she doesn't run as boldly as what she did just then.
No way.
She's 5 now. Fangirl, the transition from 4 to 5, like she became a true weight for age stalwart.
Her best run of that early 4-year-old season was nearly winning a Golden Eagle at the end of the prep.
Yeah, exactly, against her own age.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think you just need to be wary when you're backing these newly, I guess,
New season
mares when it gets to that sort of weight for age. Like I'd much rather back them in the handicap sort of races or against their own sex.
Yeah, so me liking Zardozi for a Melbourne Cup, that's okay.
He might come a little bit too soon for Zardozi. But she's very good. I like her.
Tropical Squall was also 1 hour 5 lane.
Oh, was
she? An excuse there.
But I really like Tropical Squall because you know where she's going to be and she's going to make these races more truly run.
Yep.
I like her. She's a good horse.
Yes. I don't think she's a Group 1 winner in waiting.
I think you know, I think she's one that could, you know, potentially be a Group 1 horse.
Oh my God.
Just like she's already got 2, so
we'll touch on that in a moment. But just because we're talking about these middle distance horses, basically, your mate Brandon Francis.
Yeah, well done, Brandon. Tennessee Deets.
Yes.
He's already collecting the fucking check.
Mate, I asked for it, yeah.
All right, Brandon. Look, Brandon, how about this? Do you want to do double or nothing?
Oh, hello. All right, he's got a question for us.
Yeah.
Is this year's potential Cox Plate field the best in recent memory? There's been a lot of locals in recent years, and if you have a look at the Cox Plate market, and I've got basically the top 8 chances with 1 or 2 more locals thrown in. How's this for a field? Via Sistina is now the favourite.
Yeah.
$4.50.
Yeah.
Pride of Jenny's second favourite. Prognosis, who's run second to Romantic Warrior.
The Japanese horse.
In the last 2 QE2 cups in Hong Kong. Backmarker. So it's like he's going to be the one that really wants that pace in it. Absolutely destroyed Dubai Honor. That's the form reference, right?
He's an international weight for age horse.
Yes. Yeah. And a Japanese, which they pretty much confirmed that he's going to be here.
We love the Japanese.
I can't believe I didn't back Obamburamai last year.
True.
Anyway,
Yeah.
broadsiding as a lightly weighted 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Fangirl, probably, deserves her place there.
Absolutely.
August Rodin.
He's not coming. He's not coming. Surely not.
Mate, he's either coming for a Cox Plate or there's a few options for him, like the Arc and that sort of thing. But also...
He's known for the Cox Plate, is he?
Non for the Cox Plate, non for the Caulfield Cup as well. 6-time Group 1 winner.
Aidan O'Brien trained horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think he beat City of Troy before the Epsom Derby, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. Is he a 3-year-old or is he?
Maybe not.
Is he a 4-year-old?
Might have got that wrong. Anyway, 6-time Group 1 winner.
So he's good.
He's very good. So he's in the market, whether he comes here. Docklands. I actually saw this horse in the Queen Anne over at Royal Ascot.
Is that the one OTI bought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ran second behind Charon or whatever his name was.
So he's
The grey
a
horse.
good chance.
Yeah, he's a good chance. I think he's got a few in front of him. So he's about a $15 chance at this stage.
Still.
Mr. Brightside, who was stiff not to win it last year.
Yeah, true.
At the Valley, where he absolutely rails
goes
like a greyhound.
Yeah.
And then the other one I just thought of, like thinking of Zardozi, I'm like, well, who was gapping her? Orchestral. They were saying that they were aiming her towards a Cox Plate. I don't know where she is.
She trialled, I think, this week in New Zealand. She's more of a 2,000 metre horse for mine.
So she could easily make that field too. It's a good field.
It's a really good field. Oh,
Romantic Warrior's not coming.
I was literally about to say I would love to have seen the champ back up again because, he did it last year and he wasn't right.
No.
And that would make the Cox Plate, you'd think, probably right up there with the highest rating races in the world if he came over, especially. But no, that looks phenomenal. I would have loved to have seen Militarized go around again. Celestial Legend's not going to go there. I think he's probably doing the right thing and avoiding that field and going to the Golden Eagle and just cashing that check. Yeah. But yeah, that's a hell of a field.
Yeah. So I think in recent memory, I think it's right up there because we don't have our weight for age stars there. Alligator Blood last year. Mr. Brightside's kind of had not an icky year, just not as good a year.
Yeah. When was the last time we saw a 3-year-old filly in the Cox Plate? Yankee Rose, maybe?
Yeah. Or
ran second to Winx?
Yep.
Because, broadsiding's obviously the one, but sometimes a 3-year-old bursts onto the scene a little bit and
I have my reservations about these 3-year-old fillies.
Do you?
Off the times and figures that they ran yesterday. So we may as well go into that, right? So 4 1,200 metre races on the day, right? So Amina and the 3-year-old fillies were the slowest of the 4.
Yeah, and bunch finished as well.
And there was what was there? There was a midway and a benchmark 78 in the last. So it's like...
That was actually a good win by that thing in the last.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, it was. Amina's victory was very, visually, it was amazing, right?
Yeah.
But, her last 200 metre sectionals were actually pretty average. So I don't think those... And the way it was run... Joliestar's race was the slowest to the 600, but she's basically just absolutely
smashed the clock.
And J-Mac was a kilo over.
Was he?
Yeah, he had 55 instead of 54. Yeah.
She's a Group 1 winner in waiting.
Going all over the place here, but Corey Brown needs a genuine slap over the face.
You need smack bottom, Corey.
After that, he's like, oh, gee, that was a win. That was a really nice win. You don't see J-Mac, give him a pat like that. No, she's a Group 1 winning mare in waiting. It's like, Corey, she's already won the 1,000 guineas in Melbourne, mate.
Yeah. And she's won a Group 2.
Yep.
And that was her 7th start, so...
Never been outside the Quinelle.
We know she's good, mate.
Yeah, she's very good.
We know she's good. I think she won that flight that 1,000 guineas as a 3-year-old and was still learning her craft.
Yeah.
Just the go for her as well. When she firmed from 350 into 2 whatever she was, you knew. And the market knew.
It was 350. Basically, as soon as the the scratchings were finalised, bang, $2.40.
Yeah.
Pretty much immediate. And then she remained that figure. She might have got out to about 250.
Yeah.
But she was, if you're having a look on stories in the morning, your boy was 2 from 2. So that was nice. But yeah, she was fantastic.
She-who.
So yeah, that race was, compared to the other 3 1,200 meter races on the day, they were 3 to 6.5 lengths slower to the 600 meters. But this race was 2.5 lengths quicker overall.
Right. So that 3-year-old filly race, that Amina one, your boy was on.
Yeah.
So put a line through that. Do you think the Autumn Glow form's better for the heading towards a flight stakes?
Well, that was what I've had a look at, right? First start last week in a midweek, benchmark 72 over 1,300 meters, daughter of the autumn sun, but has to do it all in one prep as well.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm on record. I don't like that. But I also don't know what the upside of Amina is and the rest of these fillies. But I don't know. I just looked at that last 200 meter sectional and like the Winx Stakes field were blowing them away, basically. And they were running over a furlong further.
Okay. So jury's out.
Jury's out for me. So, and you can kind of see that with the market. Like, Amina's maybe like second or third or fourth favourite. Manal's still like ahead of her. Manal was a good return, but I don't know. Jury's out for me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. When you see a bunch finish like that and if the clock doesn't back it up, then
Yeah.
you got to see him again.
Yeah, so Joliestar, though, her last 600 metres was 8 to 10 lengths quicker than the other 1,200 metre races. And so that's considering that J-Mac wasn't riding her out.
No.
And he was a kilo over. It is one of the best performances that I've seen from like so early in a preparation with such like buzz and hype around a horse. She backed it up.
Yeah, usually you can leave races like that a little bit disappointed. And sometimes they can win and you're still like, okay, yeah, she won, but that was the win of a horse who's got bigger fish to fry. And what I really liked about her is, did you see her in the yard? So chilled.
Yeah.
Like super professional.
She just gets it.
Yeah, super professional. She's a racehorse, leaves it all out on the track. And when she came back and J-Mac took his saddle off, literally stood there as still as a statue. She's a racehorse. And I tell you what, Zougotcha,
Yeah.
he's making waves. He's a $250,000 service, stallion. So clearly, like bro's good. But I tell you what, with his little fillies that he's producing, like keep an eye on him. That sort of 12 to 1,400 meter distance range, they're just really high quality.
So her last 600 meter sectional of the race was a 32.71, right? So Via Sistina and Fangirl clocked a 32.98. So it's basically a length and a half quicker than those mares. Obviously, a few things in her favour. Furlong, like less in distance, obviously, and then 2 kilo swing.
Yeah,
but she's putting the time on the clock, right? And she wasn't even pushed.
Yeah, she wasn't even pushed, and she's so much better than that field that she beat, like so much better.
And elder, like geldings in there as well, which I love to see for a 3-year-old. Like there was some decent, listed to Group 3 sprinters in there. 2 Group 1 winners in there as well.
Yeah, Southport Tycoon and Griff was in there as well. And she's got the tactical gate speed as well. It's like she can sit in the first third, which is so critical. And if I was going to be critical of Chris Waller, is that not enough of his horses do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, she was in the perfect position. World's her oyster. Can she win an Everest? I think she can based on that. But maybe she'll be better out to 1,400 metres.
I think you might see her
do the...
I wouldn't even be surprised if they keep her fresh, go towards an Everest now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because the way that Waller, I think that's been his concern, is like she needs the ground, but because there was the 1,100 meter option and the 1,200, and he's like, well, she's basically a miler that is a very good sprinter as well. Sprinter miler, you might say. she needs every bit of the 1200 meters to like show her absolute best.
So they take her fresh into an Everest. She could be the first one to do the Everest Golden Eagle double.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very good. It was so good to see. You just love to see it.
Yep. Do love to see that. A couple of questions about Joliestar from Azo. What do you make of Joliestar's Group 1 winner? She's a Group 1 winner at the mile, sprinted well in the Arrowfield, and yesterday, Everest, we've kind of already touched on that. Josh Buttonshaw. Was Joliestar's win greater than Stephen Bradbury winning gold for the nation?
Hold your horses, mate. Stephen Bradbury of Last Man Standing fame.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a hell of a win. I think you keep your powder dry though. If she can win an Everest, then you're like, oh, we've got a superstar here.
Yeah.
Or even if she runs like a top 3 in an Everest 6, she's so lightly raced, and
Tactical
speed, and she's a 4-year-old, so she's just going to get better and better and better.
Yeah. So, do you reckon she at a weight for age contest like the Everest, right? Early season 4-year-old, is she the one that can kind of buck that trend?
Yeah, it's a general rule that I keep, but there's some that buck the trend. She's one that can.
There's exceptions to every.
There's
rule.
exceptions to every rule, and she can be one. 100% she can. Yeah, gee whiz.
She's done it in Sydney. She's done it in Melbourne. She's just professional.
Hasn't missed the Quinella.
Very good. Very, very, very
and,
good.
you know, we've seen her win in a couple of different ways now. Like, put a field away like that. Last start, Jamie Carr, you know, first up in an arrow field against horses having their grand final. Mm-hmm. And she finds a way to win. Great ride by Jamie Carr that day, but through traffic. Like, so she's, you know, she's a racehorse.
She wants to go through those gaps.
Yeah, she's a racehorse.
Now, I hope you saw this. Another horse has put their hand up. Hey, I'm an Everest contender. Kai Mochi for Gary Portelli. First run for Yulong. And Gary's gone, hey, she's an Everest contender. How delusional is Gary?
Pretty delusional. Like, that was a good, tough win, Komochi, but she's a group horse. She's not a Group 1 horse.
So I just want to break down how delusional Gary is, right?
Come on, Gary.
They would have only beaten the highway field on raw times by 3 lengths. And she had 54 kilos, I believe.
And like, who'd she beat? I was on commemorative, just so you know.
There was a lot of people liking commemorative as their best of the day. She doesn't put it together yet.
Best of the day? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Best of the day, please.
Yeah.
I saw others saying Fangirl was their best of the day.
That was silly. Mate,
But
there was Joliestar and there was, for me, Eliyass.
And he drifted out a little bit.
He did, yeah, and I waited, which is great.
Yeah, so did I.
Of course.
Mate, I tell you what, like, it was a good day for us yesterday.
It was a good start.
It was a good start for us.
Yeah.
And the victim had a few sick beats.
Yep.
But came home with a wet sail, which is the most important thing.
Yes. Well, you know, I reckon we're none for 100 at lunch.
Yeah. You know, like, you've hit a few out of the park.
Yeah.
I'm just scratching along. I'm on 30.
Yeah, played and missed a couple.
Yeah, I'm on 30. I'm not out though.
Well, I was giving out LBW, but I just got a feather on it. Tropical Squall.
Tropical Squall. Ooh. I tell you what, like, I was given out with Zougotcha, but reviewed.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's just missing the stumps. But if she won, tell you what,
just pitched outside leg.
Exactly right. So yeah, Randwick. Anything else from Randwick that we need to cover?
Well, Eliyass.
Yep. Metropolitan, well done.
Well, so the good people at Ned's, not other bookies don't let you do this, but the good people at Ned's do. So what I did, and I shared it on my profile. So if you're looking at my profile, you'll see it. Basically, if you have a horse running on the weekend and then you want to double down in the futures market as well, you do take a bit of a haircut. So it's not the true odds of what it would be paying, but you do get some odds, but some other bookies don't actually do that. So
yeah, because they're fucking shit.
Yeah,
compared to the good people in there.
Of course. I put that on my profile. I think it was about 12-1 or so.
Yeah.
So Eliyass, is it Eliyass? Eliyass?
Elijah Wood
is now $5 favourite in the
Metrop.
So, and during the week as well, I put his first up run in Melbourne was it was disappointing last week.
Yeah.
Pericles.
Yeah.
But I think he's a Sydney horse.
Could he do the Epsom a year after I said he was going to do the Epsom?
Mate, I put Eliyass, and Pericles double for the at 100 to 1. So
that's good shopping.
It is good shopping.
Really good shopping.
So because Pericles is still about $15, I'd say, in that market.
Yeah.
I reckon, yeah. Typical Godolphin, they'll send him into state, get him prepped up, get him ready, get him back to the big smoke for the big dance.
Yeah.
So
he's a funny horse, Pericles.
He is.
He's a funny horse.
I reckon he's very well in that Epsom, I think.
Yeah.
And the last couple, like, handicap miles have been a bit...
Yeah, they have been.
Yeah, like, Celestial Legend was good. Anyway, so Eliyass was very good. Benchmark 78 grade. I've had a look at this horse, Medatsu. Third win in Australia from 4 starts.
Kiwi horse, isn't it?
Far better than benchmark 78 grade.
Oh, yeah.
Had a look at Racing Australia. He's known for the Caulfield Cup. I think that's a stretch.
Yeah.
He's 100 to 1 in that market. But in Sydney, there's a very winnable Metropolitan as well. He's $26 in that market. I think I could interest that. I think Medatsu is one that I'm keen to follow this prep for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really smart win.
First up over a mile was, he brained him.
Yeah. Yeah, way better than them.
Mornington Glory. Well found.
Yes. I think it's just reading. It's one of those ones where you just read the race. Like, there was a lot of talk about Bold Pastille and the lightweight, and she was 5 from 6 in her career to date. But you just look at the race map, and there was so much pressure, and she rarely had that in her previous races. And also, she was so well placed last prep. This was the lights were shining; they were shining too bright for her. Whereas Mornington Glory, bit of a tougher old gelding, wasn't first up. Stalk to speed, have a crack at him in the last 50 metres and get over the top of him. That's exactly what happened.
Yes.
And Ethan Brown's been riding well at the moment.
He has.
He's been striking nearly 20%, I think. The last sort of 50 to 100 rides. So, that was good. Photograph was a sick beat, mate.
It was.
That was a sick beat.
It was.
Like, Jamie Carr, when are you going to press the button? She pressed the button. I was like, you pressed it too late, Jamie.
Yeah. So Jamie put a hand up.
Yeah.
Said, it wasn't my best, but they're not robots, mate. They're not going to get it right each time.
No, they're not. So it was a sick beat, but I wasn't too upset.
Yeah.
But the one that just didn't make any sense was See What I See.
Nothing in the Stewards Reports.
Yeah.
So
I was like, surely she's got like a,
yeah,
going to pull up lame or heart, whatever.
Maybe she had like a virus in the off season or something. She just didn't come up. But from what I read in the Stewards Report, Danny O'Brien was like, yep, she was ready to go yesterday. Step up in grade, maybe, but I think something will surely come out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's one where, like, if she's a backable price next start, like, I would dive in again and you forgive. But if she fails again, then it's like, okay, cool.
Yep.
Don't back again for the rest of the prep.
need to just wait to the autumn, basically.
Do you know what's insane? How well in she was in Caulfield Cup markets. Remember when she strung a couple together in the autumn, and we were just like, that is absolutely ludicrous,
mate. What did I see? What market was it? Let me find this. Joliestar in the Cox Plate. It's like $10. She's not going to head there.
it's insanity.
Like, ridiculous stuff.
It's the futures markets. Not at all bookies, but at some are absolutely cooked, mate.
We call it how we see it.
We do.
We call out the good people in Memsie. They could be doing better.
Yeah.
Because on the whole, they do very well.
They do very well. They do very well. But honestly, like, futures markets are well and truly cooked. Yeah. We should probably do a futures preview, I reckon, at some point. Yeah, well, we'll have to do September very soon, but there's only one a week, so we could probably do it from next week. Yeah.
Now, Stewards Reports. So, Creon in the highway had a poor recovery for Danny O'Brien. That's when stablemate of Atmospheric Rock. Tropical Squall. Off 4 leg, 1 hour 5 lame. Lady Laguna was also lame, 1 hour 5. Flying Sultan in the last had a poor recovery and coughing as well. And then at Moonee Valley, there was a couple. Shock over was fractious in the barriers, and then Raikoki was lame in the left 4 as well.
In the extra 2 race. That was a smart win by extra 2. Great ride by Blake Shin. Just got there.
Yeah. And they have here follow-ups. See what I see. I would hope so.
Yes.
So, next week, what have we got? Let's have a look.
The Memsie.
Ooh, that's an interesting little race, actually. Mr. Brightside versus Pride of Jenny.
Mm-hmm. Definitely is. Would have loved to have seen those two in the Winx Stakes.
Oh, my God.
But, you can't have everything.
Because then like all the discussion, right, about it being like, should it be a Group 1 contest? It's like, yeah, I think it should be. If you have those two there as well, like actually earn your keep.
Yep.
So Pride of Jenny, $2.50, Mr. Brightside, $3.50, Antino, $8. A Tissue, $15, surely not. Pericles, $15s. Southport Tycoon, $17s. Tuvalu, same price. Amenable, Estriella. And Gentleman Roy, who's a winning machine at the moment, is 21s.
He's going super.
V8, and that's pretty much the field. Top 2 in the market.
Yeah, I think so. I think if Brightside's going to get Jenny, it's in the Memsie.
Yeah.
For mine.
Caulfield as well.
Yep. If he's going to do it,
yeah.
But like I just, where Pride of Jenny's going to be, and if Declan Bates just absolutely lets her rip, like she'll turn into a sprint, mate. Like,
yeah.
So you'd be a brave man to take her on.
And it was something I was highlighting at the start of, in the autumn, is Mr. Brightside lost that tactical speed early in his races. He was coming from way far back, and it's a credit to how good he is because he was like picking up and still winning. But yeah, if he does that again, it's going to make it awfully hard.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the trainers would have done, the Hayes boys in the break, but like Pride of Jenny just got his measure, and yeah, he's just got to sit closer. But could have just bust him up. I don't know. 1,400 meters might be the one where he can actually just keep with her. I don't know.
And I think we'll have a look at it, obviously. But like Caulfield, I want to see what her form is there. But she's a different racehorse.
Yeah, I think you honestly you don't look at her form prior to this time last year. But the thing with her is she could draw the widest gate, doesn't matter. Whereas if Brightside draws the widest gate, it's like massive disadvantage.
Yeah, true.
So she's pretty bomb proof. Like you're backing her, probably knowing she's not going to finish outside the top 3. No way in hell. Whereas Brightside, he's probably not going to finish outside the top 3. Probably not.
Well, was it when the Memsie, or it might have been the Ore, was that it was the prep that he won the All-Star Mile at Sandown.
Yeah.
And because Jacquino won that, right? Against Gentleman Roy?
Yeah. I think Jacquino won the Ore and then Brightside won the Futurity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was kicked off in the Ore, I'm pretty sure, and he finished like 5th behind him. Was it that race? Is that the prep I'm thinking of?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, doesn't matter. He runs well, fresh, over 1,400
He does. He's got a few 1,400 metre Group 1s.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all she wrote. You take care of yourself, all right?
Yeah, I'll be all right. I'll be all right, Drifters. Thanks. Don't worry about me.
Yeah. We will see you on Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.